I think growing up in my family as a Gracie is very different because it's not, there's a lot of pressure, you know, you have to train and they're always happy. It's just a natural process. It's, before you're aware of it, you're already learning, you know. So even before I knew what was happening, I already knew a few moves. So it's, you know, a lot of people ask me, you know, what age did I start? It's a very hard question because I see now through my son. You know, I have a son, he's 5.5, he's going to be 6 years old soon. And I don't think he'll be able to answer when people ask him, when did he start? Because even before, you know, he just learned how to walk, I'm already playing around with him, you know, moving a little bit, put him on top of me, trying to do some moves, just to get the body mechanics working, you know. And he doesn't know what's going on. But, you know, before he's realized what's going on, he already knows what to do. So I think that's how, you know, pretty much how he started with me. And it's just a natural process, you know, you just start growing up inside of a family that, you know, leads to everybody almost is involved in teaching, training. That's the environment that we get together, you know, we go to someone's academy regularly, exchange information, to train. I think it shows you, it get you used to with confrontations, because, you know, fighting is a way for you to confront your opponent. Doesn't matter how big and strong he is, you have to go and fight him. Doesn't matter how bad situation you are when you're fighting, you have to keep a cool mind, try to think your way out of there. So that is just a simple example of daily things that happen in your life. You know, when you see yourself in trouble in a situation that you have to try to think clearly. You've already been there 1,000 times during training. You know, you already face a scary opponent, a much bigger and stronger. You already been in situations that you're getting choked out, or, you know, you're in a bad spot that you have to work your way out. And you try many things, you did it wrong, so, you know, you get used to about dealing with those situations. So when they do happen in the real life, you already have an experience, so you can keep a clear mind when it happens. You know, I think, you know, I'm sure you can ask executive. You know, it's very scary when you're going to meet your boss, or you're going to have a meeting with people. And then, you know, do you think you want to close a deal? It's very scary. My life depends on that. You know, it's very similar when you fight, when you compete, and your body and mind is on the line. So once you get really deep into martial arts, you see that very clearly. You know, I think it's hard for people to see that when they just start, because it's something very new. You know, they cannot connect it much. But after you've been practicing for years, that just becomes a natural process. I don't think that's very important. I think if, you know, depends your lifestyle. You know, I have older students that they don't have much time to train, and they do it as a hobby for fun or for different reasons, self-defense, or just a workout. You know, I cannot tell them they should compete, you know, because they already have a stressful life when they come to do jiu-jitsu. I think competing is very healthy. It's something that you have to deal with, learn how to deal with a lot of stress. And for some people, it's not easy at all. You know, everybody gets nervous before they're gonna fight, and there's always that before the thinking of the competition itself. So it is something that, if you learn how to deal with, it's very important for you, because you're facing something that is very impossible for you. And if you can go through that challenge, I think it makes you grow spiritually and mentally. And I think, you know, if you're very young, it's something that is very healthy, because competing jiu-jitsu is not a sport that, you know, there's no striking. You don't have to physically hurt your opponent. You just have to physically deal with him in a sports sense of way. So you're going to try your best using your own body without actually having to hurt no one. Because when you put a choke on or submission, you know, the person taps, the fight is over. So it's a healthy fight. It's the most realistic, healthy way to fight someone. So I think he always helped me a lot. I don't think people has to do it, but I think it really helped me to keep a clear mind and just maybe see life a little bit different. Get used to with that, dealing with that stress and that tension before the fight, and to the point that it's natural. Like I'm very nervous when I go to a fight. Just like when I see myself in different kind of troubles throughout my life. And for me, it's not so stressful because like I know I can deal with that mentally. It's hard for me to say. I don't like to compare jiu-jitsu with other martial arts. I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of martial arts, they're very deep in this spiritual side and the philosophy behind it. I think the difference is, I think jiu-jitsu for me is the most efficient way of fighting in the world. And it was designed as a self-defense. If someone doesn't know how to fight and someone knows jiu-jitsu, he can defend against a much bigger opponent. And it's very hard to see that with most of martial arts. I'm not going to say all of it because I haven't tried all of it, so I don't like to compare and to judge. But I think as a self-defense, there is no other martial arts like jiu-jitsu. I think that's the comparison. I'm sure the spiritual side and the challenging and the mental, the philosophy behind it, there's a lot of good things in martial arts and other different arts. It's very hard, Can you imagine with no legs? It's something. Of course you can, but it's, you'll be taking some part of you away. It's. I think people can live in any way. It doesn't matter what whatever the situation, but it's something unimaginable. It's like, how would I deal with in a wheelchair? I don't know. Because it's something that never stops evolving. You can never say, I know everything, but that's a lie. You can never know everything. And you just need to know the maximum you can till you die. The day you die, that's the day you stop learning. The day that you say, I know everything, you're fooling yourself, and that's when you're getting worse. When you say, I don't want to learn anything else, that's impossible. No one can ever say I know everything because there's always something new. There's always a minus detail that makes a big difference. I think the better you become in something, the more that you pay attention on details, and the deeper you go, the little, the smaller details that what makes the most difference, and you cannot know them all. I mean, only a fool will say that.
So it was like a special moment in my life. I was a purple belt, then I got injured and I had to decide about start to work or going to another place to keep training. So I decided to go for the best guy in the world. So he's a Gracie member. He was a few times world champion, ladies champion. So I had the chance to go there to train, and I'm really happy about this decision I had in my life. Thank you.